The Trenton Bath House takes all the typical principles of Louis Kahn's use of masses, symmetry, and geometry, and distills it down to a set of buildings with a new approach to organizing public bathing houses. In 1954, Louis Kahn and local architect Louis Kaplan were commissioned to design the new Jewish community center in the suburbs of Trenton, New Jersey. The vision for a community center was not fully realized, and only the bathhouse, pool, and day camp were actually built. As pictured here, the pools were officially open to the community before the roofs were fully completed. The proposed structure serves as a gateway to the swimming pool and provides changing rooms for patrons. The design was simple. 4 square concrete blocks which surround an open-air courtyard which in plan appears as an enclosed 5th square. The 4 surrounding squares occupy male and female changing rooms, check-in and open stairway entrance to the pool. There is a clear logic applied. The 5 dominant squares are the spaces that serve the users, while each corner of every square would have a subservient square for utility purposes. These would include storage, entry points, toilets, manager's office, and pool control room. Kahn discovered from the project his own design philosophy to make a distinction between servant and served spaces. This approach allowed Kahn to implement a clear spatial hierarchy for all of his following buildings. Kahn often used geometry to make masses appear in a way they are not. For instance, the servant squares at first glance appear to be bulky structural support points for the roofs. As we learnt, these blocks are hollow columns which can be occupied. The pyramid roofs also appear heavyweight, when in fact they are made of timber and clad in asphalt shingle. The roofs also appear to float, but the reason they are offset to the center of the columns is to hide their point of contact with a steel connector. The enclosing walls would be pushed out or pulled in to modify the essence of each space. The outer walls of the changing rooms were pushed out from the confines and made flush along with the outer wall of the column. This opened up a gap along the upper edges, allowing natural light to enter and to ventilate the spaces. The changing rooms have floor drainage, which means rain that entered would not be a problem. The outer walls of the basket room and check-in were pulled in under the roofline to protect the room from rain. This appearance of recessing the walls on the exterior defines an official entrance point for visitors to approach. The oculus of each pyramid allows further light to enter into the changing rooms. They remain not glazed in all instances, except for the basket room. The bathhouse and day camp pavilions are listed on the New Jersey and the National Register of Historic Places. In 1997, the bathhouse was listed as an endangered building and later preserved as a historic building. Although appearing simple in form and relatively modest, the design seems to be a project for Kahn to experiment with adding and subtracting elements which are bounded within a strict logic. By pushing, pulling, adding and subtracting solids, he was able to provide something unique for each room and even create a room essentially out of nothing. Louis Kahn often lets design follow an initial logic, and it was the Trenton Bath House that allowed him to realize that.
If the world discovered me after I designed the Richards Medical Research Building, I discovered myself after designing that little concrete block bathhouse in Trenton.